Longevity Lifestyle Designs. This is Zach here with secretsoflongevity.com. This is part 2 of the tincture recipe, or the 3 holiday tinctures that I began on November 17th. Today is December 18th, so it's been 1 month and 1 day. I forgot about it yesterday. I was going to harvest this yesterday and press it and get the tincture ready. However, I'm doing it today. It's been 1 month. 1 day is not going to make any difference there. If you're wanting to check out the video in which I prepared the tinctures, you can check that out below. Just click this link to go watch it now, and then at the end of that one you can click to come watch this one. But here we have the 3 tinctures that I began on the 17th of November, and I've been shaking maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I haven't been shaking it every day. At first I was doing it every day, but I quickly lost track of remembering to shake them, but that's quite alright. Just sitting there, they're going to be breaking open the cell walls of the roots, barks, and leaves that I have in these tinctures. So just to go over them again, this one is Pau d'Arco, Chonca Piedra, and Cat's Claw. It's an Amazonian themed one. It's going to taste great, I know, because the Pau d'Arco has got a very aromatic flavor. I'll open it up right now and I can probably describe it better. Well, the rum's definitely the most dominant smell, of course, but it goes very well with chocolate, I have to say. And I believe the two have been consumed together for quite a long time. So that's something that this can be consumed with, but in a tincture form, has that smooth, dark flavor that, again, is hard to describe. You have to almost try it yourself. And all these herbs that I'm using in the tinctures today, I've got links to below. If you wanted to grab some from Mountain Rose Herbs and use them in a tea, use them in tincture, use them any way you feel fit in your own herbal practice. So we're going to open each of these up. This one is nettle root, nettle leaf, so it's just a nettle one. It smells wonderful as well. And this last one is ginkgo, tulsi, and horsetail. So it's ginkgo biloba, tulsi, otherwise known as holy basil, and horsetail, which is also known as shave grass. So with each of these tinctures, I'm going to prepare them in a special way. It's part of the program that Brandon Damon has created. That is his special tincture control method. And I'm obviously not going to reveal that on the video, but I'm going to show you the difference between the regular way of pressing a tincture, or at least the end result, and then I'll show you also what they look like once I've done the things I'm going to do to them off camera. So with this dropper, I'm going to drop a few of the surface alcohol, which has been soaking in the herbs, which has been shaken and mixed around, obviously. And I'm going to drop a little bit in each of these containers behind them. And then I'm going to do the procedure and then compare those tinctures to the same kind of the prior method that most people are familiar with. If that's too confusing, you'll see once I get to it. But here we're going to siphon off just a little bit of the surface tincture, which, I mean, just looking at that, it's very see-through, quite pale. And which one was that? That was the Tulsi, let me just double check that. Yeah, that was the Tulsi ginkgo horsetail, and it's all gone to the end there, but yeah, it's very clear. It tastes a lot like rum. Very strong rum flavor. That's the most dominant thing going, but you have the mintiness of the holy basil, and you can taste the other things in there too. So I'm just going to put a few squirts at the bottom of this cup at the back, just so that I have something to show you after I've processed each one. So that's pretty much empty. There's not going to be any contamination there, but regardless, it's going to be such a dramatic difference that the minor contamination is going to be not apparent. So I'm actually going to sample each one beforehand too. So this is the nettle root, nettle leaf. Oh, that's an interesting flavor. Quite different. I mean, there's already obviously a lot of active compounds in the tincture, and that's for certain. I've done tinctures this way, the regular way, for quite a while. I've done several tinctures, and one of them I still even have it was my very first tincture I ever made. And it's great. It works. You're going to get some things, but we're going to really probably make it about 8 times more potent. And this is generally what you find at a health food store. So being able to make really potent tinctures can save you money in the long run, rather than buying tinctures that you want to take from the health food store, which, you know, are exorbitantly priced for the amount of herbs you're actually getting from it. So with the last one, this one's probably going to be the most flavorful one, and you can see this is actually quite a bit thicker, and that's because I used a powder. The martin-kilgour was a powder and wasn't a loose root. I would have preferred the loose root actually because it keeps longer. So yeah, that's quite, has definitely a strong martin-kilgour taste. But we're going to squirt these into the back. Careful not to get any of the actual substance caught in the dropper. Just this stuff from the side. But that's going to be enough, because I just need one dropper full to compare. So I'm going to hold up 2 droppers, one before and one after, and you'll see the results. So the tincture control method allows you to create your own tinctures for your own herbal medicine cabinet. You can use tonic herbs, you can use more medicinal ones for more emergency type situations. In the future I'm going to share with you different recipes that I use and combinations that I think are a great addition to everyone's home. You know, you need something that's emergency for a sore throat, for example, if you have children in your household or family members that you want to share herbal tincture with that you know is going to be able to knock out a sore throat much more powerfully than anything you can get at a health food store or a drugstore or any other remedy. But because it's something that you put your research into, you might want to expand upon these recipes as well, and that you know are going to work very well. You also might want to have something that's used in a stressful situation. If you just have in your purse or in your pocket or in your car, you're stuck in traffic, you're feeling stressed, you might want to do a tincture shot of a really high potency tincture control tincture shot of holy basil mixed with perhaps some other anti-stress herbs. So these are just great strategies to implement to bring using the use of tinctures into everyday life. So with that, I'm going to get to the special tincture control method, and then we'll be back to see the results. So I've done 3 tinctures using the tincture control method, and you can see they're not see-through at all. They're very thick, very opaque, and at least to the smell, they smell still very strong. I haven't tried them yet. We're going to try each one, and we're also going to compare them up to the camera so you can see the difference between the old ones that were before I did the special tincture control method, and then what they're like now after the pressing and other things that I did with them. So here I'm going to come up to the camera and show you the difference. The one on my right hand, which is the longer dropper, is going to be non-tincture control, and the one on my left hand is one using the methods from tincture control. And it's a very slight difference. I've turned the other lights on here in the kitchen so perhaps you can see more light coming through them. But this one is a little cloudier, and this one on the right is definitely very clear. Depending on what type of herb you use, you're going to get different results. You can get certain types of herbs that are going to be like really thick, almost like a syrup, using the tincture control methods. With these 3 actually, there's not a massive difference, but you can probably see a slight difference in how cloudy the one on the left is, or I guess that's your right, compared to this one, which is much clearer. And we'll try the difference between them too. So I'm going to try the first one first. So I already tried that one, that tastes pretty normal. And that second one was definitely more herbal. Actually both empty. Try these next 2. Again, there's not a massive difference between these, but the one on the left, which is your right, is cloudier, and the one on the right, my right, your left, is more see-through. And I'll try them as well. That second one is that's a very strong tincture. I don't overly like the flavor of that. The nettles almost taste like spinach, so it tastes like alcohol and spinach. And you can taste the spinach flavor more with the tincture control method, of course. With the last one, we're going to do martin-kilgour, cat's claw, Chanca Piedra, with the 2 different methods. And these ones both turned out pretty thick, but the one on the right, your left, I can see more light through it, whereas this one is very cloudy. And perhaps you can see that, perhaps you can't. but there's a noticeable difference there. Do it for the back too. So we'll just do the taste test. Probably less flavor difference in those two, because the Pau d'Arco I had in a powder form, so it's going to be quite strong still in the regular one. But overall, I'm really happy with the results of my tinctures. And you can check out the link below to see the program, and on the front page of the program it has a picture of Brandon comparing two droppers, just like I was just doing. And you can see how much thicker and more opaque he got his one tincture compared to the one that he bought from a health food store. And if I were to buy a health food store tincture for any one of these, I didn't do a lone herb, and many of the tinctures in health food stores are going to be a single herb. So if you were to do a tincture of a single herb, use the tincture control methods and compare it to a store-bought, fairly dilute tincture, you're going to notice a big difference, because those are even more thin and less opaque than even these ones, which was just sort of the skimming off the surface of the tinctures before I did the tincture control. So with that, again, check out those links below for the herbs or the program. And with that, take care and embrace life without limits.